and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of AttractWell, Greg Kilwine. Hey, Greg.
Hey, everyone. We're really glad you're here today.
We are so excited to have you here today. We were just chatting before the call. If you're aware of any sort of like little sound panels that you could use to like do fun little little boings and please hold music and bazookas and stuff, we're all ears. That would be a fun little addition to these calls, wouldn't it? Anyway, today we are talking about an equally fun subject, I think, and that is right with AI. And more specifically, we're going to be talking about prompts and how you can get better at using prompts so that you can get more out of your AI experience. Of course, AttractWell has its own built-in right with AI feature that understands you're a business owner and kind of understands a lot of the kind of work that you may be engaging with in the AttractWell system. But we're going to get into a whole lot more than just that today. And we'll get into and actually play around with it and learn how to be better at AI together. We also have a couple of live work reviews scheduled. So if you're here, maybe just shoot me a message here in the chat. Let me know that you're here and ready. We'll be working with you at the close of the call. We're going to go ahead and get into slides. We got just a little bit to show and tell here today before I get into the meat of what we are talking about. So out of video we go and into the presentation. Again, welcome. We are so thrilled to have you here. We do this every single Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern US time. It's a great opportunity for you to learn about new strategies and tried and true strategies to help you grow your coaching, consulting, course creating, expert, consultant, service provider type business, whatever it is that you do. We work great for direct sales as well. Here at AttractWell, we have everything that you need all in one place to grow your business. We save you tons of money and maybe even more importantly, loads and loads of time, because now you have less to manage because you got everything under one roof. Now, today we're talking about a cool thing that helps to tie a lot of stuff together, and that is our Right with AI feature. We do have additional training on this. I'll talk about here briefly as well, but today we're talking about how we can get better results with AI. So we do have an overview training of our Right with AI. We have another one on how we talk about email deliverability. We've got another training yet on how you can use our Right with AI feature to create courses. Today, we're talking about improving our skills. We got some personal development for AI, but for the humans who use it today. All right, so let's talk about what we're getting into. First, we're going to talk about the Right with AI feature in AttractWell. We will talk about what prompts are. If you're unfamiliar with some of the jargon, the language around using AI, prompts are one of those keywords. And another one that is going to be a core focus of what we talk about today is something called prompt engineering. And then I got a resource for you. You should have already gotten it if you are on our list. If you are on our list, go open that email that had the link to join today. You will see that you have a download in there that is a PDF that we'll be going over today. And then, of course, as always, we have live help and Q&A. So if you are not on the list and you would like to be, you can go to attractwell.com/office hours. You'll be the first to receive any of the great resources that we provide, like what we have put together for you today. And of course, you'll be the first to know about our upcoming trainings and get our replays. If you'd like to work together on a call like this, this is open for anyone who is an AttractWell user. You can work on anything together in your business. If you're creating a course or program, you want feedback on a website, you want strategy on how you connect things together, you just want some eyes on what you're doing, or you want a little orientation to your AttractWell platform, go to attractwell.com/work review. We save space for these calls in the second half of these weekly sessions that we hold. And if you want a little more help than we can give you in the periods of time we offer on this call, highly recommend you head over to attractwell.com/concierge, where you can learn more about our team who can help you create your dream website, set things up, migrate you from another platform. Whatever it is that you're looking for is a solid chance we can help you get it done. So go to attractwell.com/concierge. Now, let me know in the chat, or maybe pop your hand up. Have you tried Right with AI? Have you tried using this in AttractWell? What does that look like for you? Are you having fun with it? What kind of things are you using it for? And do you feel like you're good at it? You feel like you're good at getting the results that you want from using Write with AI. Now, when you are asking AI to do something for you, that is called a prompt, right? So it's a sort of technical jargon for the like what you type in and you ask the AI to do, or you ask it a question. All of these things are called prompts. And prompt engineering is the actual process of learning to, I could put this, call it a science, quote unquote. It's a science of putting together the right questions and qualifiers and the right information to get the most optimal result that you're looking for when you go to use AI. So today we're going to be focusing on what it looks like to become a great prompt engineer without spending half your life on it. This is something that you can and really should be using on a very frequent basis. And you should, all of us here should be working on getting pretty good at this, because this, so far as we can tell, is here to stay. And it is definitely something that you want to get good at for your business. And then of course we will get into live help and Q&A, but before we do, let's get into the free resource that I've put together for you guys that you should have received. Again, if you are on the list, you have received this, and we will, of course, also, I think Greg can pop this into the chat, and then we'll put this in the replay in the description on YouTube. So again, we're so excited to have you guys here today to go over this with you, and I'm just kind of browsing through the chat here. Robert says he's been using ChatGPT and Claude for a while and just starting to use the built-in Write with AI. Awesome. So you're going to find that AttractWell is very similar in terms of our Write with AI feature. It's very similar to what you would find in a lot of other platforms, specifically where you would have a paid AI service that helps you to do things like write, right? Which is mostly what we are doing, aside from maybe some brainstorming. But we can definitely talk about some creative ways that those of us who are using AI are doing that. Now, I'm not going to read every single piece of this out to you. This is a cheat sheet for you, but we are going to kind of use this as a tool here as I explain some of the best practices in using Write with AI with AttractWell. Now, first things first, I want to make sure that I'm actually signed into a dummy account here. And I'm going to show you actually before I start going into this content here, I'm going to show you where to find it. All right. So if you are in the AttractWell dashboard, then Write with AI, you'll see is always right here. All right. This is where you're going to go, and you could ask it so many things. You've got some examples here that will open up, but let's get into even more of them for today's call. So first things first, Write with AI is built in. You get it with AttractWell. You don't need to have a third-party AI writing service. All right. Importantly, our Write with AI already has a general idea of how you function as a business. Obviously, they're not going to necessarily know what you're certified in or who you serve or that sort of thing, but it already knows that you are a business owner. You are using the service as a business owner who is probably selling coaching courses, consulting, or services. You're building a brand, you're building a list, you're building a following, and you hopefully are creating content. So this, when you use Write with AI with AttractWell, it already knows these things about you, which is pretty cool. Now you can find, like I just shared with you, a link to Write with AI from anywhere you are signed in to your dashboard. And we do have an additional training. This is our overview training. This is actually clickable. It will take you to our YouTube channel where I actually teach you the ins and outs of our Write with AI feature when we launched it. Now, prompts, like I mentioned, these are the messages that you send to Write with AI and AttractWell. So if I were to write something right here, this is called a prompt. And prompt engineering is the soft science of sending the right messages to AI to get the output that you're looking for. Now, there is this, and I'm not going to take credit for this. I actually found this on another website, this create formula. I love a good acronym. So basically, this is our formula for prompt engineering. Now, this is not necessarily your super quick formula to getting things done. You're going to find that at the very end, the step by step. But I want to talk about how we can get good at using AI first. All right. So who's with me on that? You want to get better at using AI, right? We all know that we need to improve how we interact with this thing if we're going to get better results that we're looking for. So the first thing that we want to look for in this create is character. So we want to make sure that we are defining the AI's role and the audience who is going to receive it, right? So who are the characters at play in this story? So if you are telling AI to write with you, as an example, you will tell it that they are a seasoned wellness coach with over 20 years of experience, if that's you, right? So tell them who you are. And you're going to say, right, you are a seasoned wellness coach, or, you are a business coach, or you are a marketing consultant, or whatever that might be. You also want to make sure, and that's why there's an ellipses here. This is going to happen later in the prompt. We're going to add a qualifier for who it is that they're writing to, the audience. So in this case, this is someone who is writing for a busy, exhausted mom of toddlers. She's in her 30s. She dreams of an easier life. Now, this is going to help the AI, if you're asking it to write a blog post, for instance, to modify the tone, to include more relevant information because of how we're qualifying here. If you don't say you're a seasoned wellness coach with over 20 years of experience, it might not understand that it needs to write authoritatively, right? So there are ways that we can introduce subtext through this first example here, seasoned wellness coach of over 20 years. Obviously, you can add very specific qualifiers, which we'll get to shortly, where you can tell it to write authoritatively. You could do that explicitly, but you can deliver subtext here in this way by telling it who it is, and then, of course, who it is that they're speaking to. Now, the R in create is going to stand for request. Request is what you're doing with a prompt. You are asking it to do something for you. So be specific about it. If you give it generalized language, you're going to get vanilla or maybe icky results, right? Think about this. If you just hired an assistant, maybe they are, and I'm not being ageist here, maybe they're a teenager, right? They're just getting their feet wet in the working world, and you told them to write you a blog post. Here's what my business is, write me a blog post. Do you think that they're going to write you a good blog post that's actually going to work for what you want it to do in your business? Probably not. But if you add qualifiers in here, we can turn this 18-year-old in this example into an absolute freaking genius, right? If we can be super specific. So instead of saying, write a sales email for a weight loss program or my weight loss program, they don't know your program. You can say, write a compelling email for my weight loss program that covers these topics, right? And you need to put those topics in there, and is for, and then that's where we say, a busy, exhausted mom of toddlers in her 30s who dreams of an easier life, right? Robert says that 18-year-old just getting their feet wet might write better. Maybe, but you have right with AI. And if you can make it smarter with your prompts and your prompt engineering, then you can have you can have Mensa level stuff happening in your business here. Depends on, obviously somewhere on that scale between 18 years old and, and Harvard. All right. So the E in create is examples. This is optional, but really, really helpful. So if you are wanting to write an email and you actually have swipe copy from an email from someone whose list you're on, and you want to say, write me a compelling email that says this, this, and that. Here's an example of something that I really like that does this. That is going to do a lot for the AI, right? So you can paste in examples of what you're looking for. So that can, when you give examples, it can guide the tone, the style, and help you to get better results. The A in create is adjustments. Now, this is why we call this prompt engineering, because what you are doing here is iterating. You're putting together something that you think will work. You're trying it. And if you don't get the result that you want, you take that thing that you put together initially and you tweak a variable, and then you try it again, right? So it's, again, kind of soft science here, prompt engineering. So if you don't like the result that you got, practice your prompt engineering, tweak these things, copy your previous prompt and adjust it before you send again, ask again, prompt, request again, so that you can get a more refined result. Now, T is the type of output. This is really, really important. If you aren't clear on this, you're not going to get what you're looking for. So the type of output here, you want to describe the desired format. Be clear and specific. Write a blog post with at least 1,000 words. Write a PDF guide with at least 1,000 words. Write an email and include a compelling headline. If you tell it to write an email, it might not think that it needs to write the subject line for it, right? Make sure you're clear on the format. Tell them, I want you to write website copy for the above the fold section of my page, maximum character count 700. Tell it that. You're going to get a better result than saying, what should I say at the top of my website, right? Get specific. And if you don't know exactly what you need, try something in the neighborhood of it. Test this, right? Become a little bit of an AI scientist here, or an AI engineer here. Now, the E in create is extras. And so this is the stuff that's really going to help you create the thing that you want. That's where we're going to incorporate your unique instructions. So maybe if you are looking for blog post content, you want to, because you are a wellness coach and you like to get a little sciencey, you want to make sure that you're telling the AI when they're coming up with that article for you that talks about the 17 ways to get better sleep. Maybe don't do 17, do 7, 7 ways to get better sleep. Tell it to only use reliable sources and cite them. And if you do that, then it is going to provide citations. It's going to tell you what studies it's referencing, right? And do remember with AI, most AI can only go a handful of years back, is the most recent that their information is up to date. So you're not going to find this year's studies, for instance, as we're filming this in August of 2023. That's true. So you'll find things from 2019 or earlier, that kind of thing. But science is science if you're looking for citations, right? And of course, you could be looking for citations from other places as well. It's totally up to you. You also can tell it to write in a specific tone, so cheerful, formal, authoritative, or to write in a style like persuasive, journalistic, as a speech, as a keynote for business, right? Technical writing. Pretty cool, right? So get specific with this stuff, get into creating, love this acronym, and become a better prompt engineer for AI. Now, if you're just getting started with AI, you can start out with some simple prompts just to start playing around. When you go in to write with AI, what you put here, you can actually see prior responses. It's just up to the last 50 items of things that you put in here. But this is all really it's not consequential. Just play with it. Just get in here and ask it some questions. So you can say, help me make this email more succinct, and you paste in the email that you wrote, right? Or help me rephrase this so that it sounds more persuasive, right? Use help me as a prompt. Teach me how to. Ask it to show you how to do a thing. Teach me how to do keyword research. So you can start doing keyword research for your content, right? Provide an overview of what someone needs to do to get X outcome, right? So if you are coming up with ideas for lead magnets or for content, this is so powerful for content. You can ask for best practices for different things. You can ask it for step-by-step instructions. Typically, for those of us who are experts in things, you might not be using this necessarily, but it is a great place, again, to start for inspiration. Show me a step-by-step approach to getting better sleep, and it will show you whatever those steps are. You could maybe make that more specific. Practice getting more specific from the simple prompts. So provide step-by-step instructions for a mom of toddlers to get better sleep in 7 steps. Use resources, use sources and cite them, right? You can add on. Just remember, you can add on to these things. You could also ask it what questions you should ask. This is powerful. If you haven't started using this feature with AI, please do. What questions should I be asking to better understand blank? This is a great way to brainstorm. You could ask it to create a template for you. So maybe for a discovery call, create a template for a discovery call. And obviously you want to give it a little bit more detail based on what you want that call to do, who it's for, what you cover. And of course, just as you can have it write a blog post, you can have it write a report. There's so much you can do here. There's so much you can learn. This is such a fabulous learning tool. Obviously, the focus of what we're talking about here today and what you can use it for in AttractWell is around getting things done in your business. But there is so much personal growth that can happen just by exploring what's available to you with AI. You could fall down Google rabbit holes, which I'm sure we all have at one or multiple times a day, depending on who we are. You can actually drill down straight to what you're looking for with a pretty reasonable amount of accuracy with AI, which is pretty cool. Now, I've given you some more specific prompt ideas here. So creating new content, here is an example of one where we're asking it to write a blog post. So writing a blog post greater than 1,000 words. Obviously, you want to insert the key word you want to focus on. You want to make sure that you're telling it who your audience is. You want to use a couple of additional keywords, right? So explain why this and how this and why that, right? And then include a call to action at the end of the post for the reader to download and then insert whatever information you have about your lead magnet, right? And so you tell it the style is authoritative and persuasive and the tone is friendly. So I'm actually going to copy this and I'm going to take it over to Write with AI. And I'm going to go modify this. So act as a seasoned health coach with 20 years experience helping women lose weight. Write a 1,000-word blog post on improving sleep for moms of toddlers. Explain why it's hard to get restful sleep in short periods, how to improve her sleep quality, and why her diet matters to help her sleep. Okay, include a call to action at the end of the blog post for the reader to download my recipe book that will help them get better sleep without and lose weight without starvation or diet foods. How about that? All right, so the style here we're going to say is, we're going to call it fun and persuasive. The tone is friendly. And we're going to ask it to write. Sometimes it'll give a minute. Obviously, it needs to generate something great. And I think sometimes, and I don't know this for certain, but when you give it a whole lot of parameters, it can take just a little bit to compute what it is that you need. So let me drag this guy down so we can scroll into it. Here we go. Oh, I love this. It gave us a title. Fabulous. It's giving us the step-by-steps. And we are telling them right here to download the recipe book. Right? And then of course, here's where we'll put the button to send them off to our landing page. Pretty cool, right? And if I'm obviously not going to read all of this out here, but she's saying, remember, mama, prioritizing your sleep is not a selfish act. This is her tone here is friendly and it's fun. And she is doing this person, this AI stepping in for you, the 20-year seasoned wellness coach, is doing a fantastic job communicating to this person, right? So that is an example of how you can do that. And of course, another thing we could do here, if we wanted to create a guide, for a lead magnet, we can tell it to write 1,000-word step-by-step guide on how to transition to a high-protein, plant-based diet, include 2 recipes each for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, include a call to action at the end to watch my masterclass. Maybe you've got a sales video. And then in this case, you would paste the content from maybe a PDF whose information you particularly love, right? So again, that's something that you could put in here. Another way that you can prompt AI is to help you become a better writer and communicator. So you may be really great, like Robert's saying here to us in the chat, a really great oral communicator, a great person-to-person communicator, but you are not necessarily as adept or you don't feel as confident with writing. Write what you know you want to say, get the meaning into words, paste that into here and give it your prompt, right? So prompt it by saying, here's what I have written, here's what I want to say, or here's the point I want to get across. Rewrite this as, with more fun and in a persuasive manner, right? This is an example of something that you can do. You could also say, write a compelling headline for it, or write a compelling subject line. You can also use this to brainstorm for new content. So I'm just going to copy this one right here. I'm a seasoned health coach with 20 years experience helping women in their 30s with thyroid issues lose weight and regain their energy and vitality. Come up with 20 blog post topic ideas and include headlines. So let's go and prompt. So I'm going to go in here and paste exactly what I wrote there as an example. And what we can do here is come up with our blog post content plan for the next couple of quarters. I mean, look at that. That's fantastic. So another thing that you could do as well, if you have more information here, is if you've done some keyword research, you can tell it that you want to prioritize keywords, this, that, and that, right? And it will factor those in here, right? That's the engineering part of this, right? Is that, okay, these are all really great, but what if I've actually started doing keyword research and I want to be including more keywords? Now they are actually, for somebody who is dealing with, in this case, thyroid issues, you're going to see a ton of keywords that are already in here. They're going to do a pretty solid job of hitting some of those keywords. But what you want to make sure you do, and you can, Mark, you can have AI help you to some degree, I think in theory with SEO, but where this strategy could get a little tricky for you is with the nuance, right? Like, unless you are doing just an absolute bang up job of being really clear on who your person is, and you already understand what they want, you basically are already going to kind of know what the keywords are that you're looking for, right? So in this particular case, I didn't really talk about any other sort of factors here that makes this, this woman different from other women in their 30s dealing with thyroid issues, right? Any woman in their 30s or any woman period with thyroid issues or hypothyroid issues are going to be experiencing weight gain and drops in energy. Generally speaking, that's the stuff that they're going to be searching for, right? But depending on who your person is, this could be very vanilla, right? So she may not be interested in understanding hypothyroidism versus hyperthyroidism because she already knows that. She's somebody that's maybe already done some of the some of the research for herself here. So we can say, maybe understanding the link between dairy and thyroid issues in the gut, right? Or if we know that she's somebody who's probably been told she needs to check out Candida, that needs to be one of the titles that's in here, right? So you can have, I think AI is most useful where SEO is concerned, with helping you brainstorm. And then once you have clarity, then you take that clarity to AI. Right. And then that can help you to create the content for your SEO and can help you make sure that you're potentially. And again, you want to double check this, make sure that you're placing your keywords properly, et cetera. It's not going to be like, it's not your SEO expert, in your back pocket by any means. You want to make sure that it's something that you know enough about, and then you have it do the more time-consuming work for you. All right, so here's the step-by-step. If you want to get into prompt engineering, first, make sure when you're going in to write with AI that you know what it is that you want. What's your objective? Okay, what's the outcome you're looking for? Do I want to have a plan for my blog posts for the next 2 months? Do I want to have a blog post written? Do I want to brainstorm a course? What do we want to have done? So be clear on that. And then construct your initial prompt, right? Using that create formula that I shared with you, hit all of those points that you can, that make sense, and create your first prompt. Understand that you're probably going to recreate, you're going to re-engineer your prompt on the path to getting it right. And that is the next step. We're going to evaluate and iterate. So assess the output that AI gave you in a response to your initial prompt, and then modify that as necessary to get a better outcome. And then make sure that you are using those control mechanisms that are available to you. So that's going to be like tone, style, word count, telling it what to include or not include, things like, show your sources, etc. Right? And that's it. So you have this as download today, and you can use this whenever you get into your AttractWell account and start using Write with AI. And I'm really excited to see what kind of questions or ideas you guys have. I'm seeing some in the comments here. There's definitely some interesting things that are all, happening in the AI space, and they're ever evolving, and nobody's a complete expert on it because it's kind of its own brain, right? It's a little wild. I'm also always polite to the AI in case the Terminator Skynet thing happens. That's not why I do it, but I think that's reasonable, Mark. I just grew up in Alabama, and I feel like if my grandma was sitting next to me, I should just behave like my grandma's sitting next to me. She would not be okay with me being rude. So anyway, let's see what kind of questions we have. And then of course we do have, as always, our live help. All right, Brandon says, can you copy and paste in text from journals or research paper to write with AI? So we do have a character count on our Write with AI. I don't remember exactly what that is. So what I would do is focus on the most important part of it. So maybe zero in on the paragraphs that are of greatest import, and use those. So the examples that you're using, Greg, what is our character max at this point? Do you know offhand?
Yeah, I looked it up. It's like 4,000 characters, and somebody also asked the question about how many words, and that's 6 characters a word, including a space. That was what, 650-ish words.
Okay. Okay, so that's for your inputs, right? Obviously, if you're telling it to write 1,000-word blog post, it'll make that for you. But your input max is 4,000. So just bear that in mind when you're using Write with AI. Robert says, I may have missed it, but have you done an episode on keyword and SEO optimization and how to plan and research the optimal words? Yes, not the track and evaluate, the sort of more like maintenance phase of SEO. However, we do actually have several SEO trainings on our YouTube channel. And if you have anything specific that you would like to learn more about, know more about, that you don't see, then obviously, of course, let us know, send in a request, and we'll do our best to put something together for you. And Greg did just drop that into the chat here. So thank you for that. And feel free to keep those questions coming into the Q&A so that we don't miss them. I want to invite out, let me see if you guys are here. I have Kuruk, if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, my apologies. If you could raise your hand for me. Kuruk, if you're here, or Kuruk, perfect, you're here. Hi. Forex mentor. Cool. Hey,
How
nice
are
to
you?
meet you.
Nice to meet you
Good.
guys.
Yeah, likewise. How can we help?
I actually didn't pay attention when I built my website with you guys.
Oh,
And after building it, I was so proud. I said, wow, this is great. But then when I went back and started looking at how I should have built the website, I realized that it's not sexy or attractive at all.
okay.
And I wanted somebody to take a look at it and see what I think I know what I did wrong. I don't have any above the fold, below the fold. I just data. It's just a bunch of data.
All right. Well, the good news is that this can work and it can work really well. How something converts really depends a lot on where they were before they click the link to get here. So if somebody already has a great deal of trust in you and in what you have to say, something like this can convert like crazy, right? So don't worry too much about that. In terms of like, I don't know, overanalyzing what's here. There are ways to improve, as is always the case, but like, don't beat yourself up over like getting it done, because you got it done. And that's like what most people don't do, is get things done, right?
That was my concern, that this is like the lead page where they click on and then put in their input, then go to the website.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is stopping me from getting more traffic, or is it adding? You know what I mean?
How are you sending people here?
I haven't even started to advertise yet. I wanted to make sure the website was up to par before I even
Okay.
started to look for access to that,
Got you. So did you build this with landing pages or a page?
I
think this
build
is
it with a landing page, and then I build each page individual, and then I built the course within it also.
Oh, okay. Got you. All right. So we've got pages. So, I mean, there are definitely, oh, you have the landing page over the top. Got you. Okay.
Yes.
Got you. So, generally speaking, my recommendation is to have a home page that's accessible, and you could certainly link to a page like this one.
Okay.
Using maybe like a call out banner at the top or something like that, or even a button from somewhere on the page,
Okay.
because that's going to give you the opportunity, depending on where you're showing up. So if you're on social media, maybe your link in bio, you have a website, or it's in the link in your, your email signature, et cetera, on your business card. You want to have a place where people can go and peruse. We obviously want to drive as many people as possible into the funnel, but if the only thing that we have is a funnel, then we do miss the opportunity to build that trust where it might not exist, right? So this is where it's going to kind of depend on how people are arriving here. If they're arriving here because you've personally referred them, it doesn't really matter. You can send them right here.
Yeah,
You could do this for
exactly.
the next 10 years. But if you are creating social media content, for instance, and you want to send people somewhere, if you are specifically on social media talking about the information on the mentorship program or something like that, then you could send them here, and then they sign up for their complimentary call or something like that. That's fine. But generally speaking, you want to have something somewhere that just gives them a more passive place to get to know you better, and that's where your homepage is going to be ideal. One thing that I see that I think is going to be important for you to consider is breaking these, or not really breaking them down, actually combining some of these into menus that drop down. So something like maybe there's what would be a couple of things that might be similar, right? So maybe there's learn. Right. And so learn might have the master class, it might have a freebie, it might have the members area. Disclaimer can actually go down at in the footer of your website, and you don't have to have it up here. Contact us similarly, that can be down at the bottom. So I would maybe think about this like you own a large commercial building, and it's your prerogative to try to get people into the building, of course. Then we want to be able to very quickly send them exactly to the office in that building that they're interested in going into, because if they do, then money exchanges hands and the business grows, right? So what are those, like, what's the directory in the lobby of that building, that's what we want to put here. So if
Okay.
you wanted this, you go here, that you go there, and you can, have hallways once they go into that office, right? Where there are more doors inside of it. But we want to be able to narrow down their choices to just a few. And that's going to keep this kind of thing, what you see right here, from happening, the sort of
Right.
visual thing that's happening there.
Yes.
And it's going to make things more effective.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. And the other thing that I would do here as well is, and this is the above the fold part,
Right.
is I would take really the most compelling reason why someone would get onto your list and make that the above the fold thing. So if it's your master class or, some free thing that you're giving away that you are, maybe planning to actively promote, having that above the fold could be helpful. Another thing would just be, just a really hard targeted message towards your ideal person, letting them know they're in the right place, would be
Okay.
the thing to put up here.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any other questions?
No, you gave me a lot to think about. Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
awesome. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Okay, Robert wants to know what above the fold means. Thank you for asking that question, Robert. It's an old, it's a call out to, you remember those things called newspapers? You remember when you used to buy newspapers off like the deli counter or, at the gas station, it's, it's a stack of newspapers. New York Times is sitting right there. The reason why you pick up that paper and buy it if you don't have a subscription to it is probably because that title, story, and image caught your attention and you knew that you wanted to read more about whatever that was. That's what above the fold means on your website. It's that compelling reason that someone's going to stick around and keep reading, right? They're going to stop what they're doing and actually spend some time with the information that they're seeing. That is above the fold. Okay, we also have, you had me at newspaper. We also have David here on the call as well. If you're here, I don't see you. So David, if you are here and you're just under a different name, feel free to pop your hand up and let me know that you're here and we can make sure to bring you out and chat. In the meantime, if anyone else has any questions or you want to go over anything together, you have any, if you want to have a review like we just did, or may potentially be doing here again, we do have some time and space for that. Or if you have more questions or ideas you want to explore about using AI and AttractWell, feel free. What I'm going to do here real quick is just go double check and see if David wasn't maybe looking for some feedback for a call that he would maybe watch the recording for. So let me check this out real quick. Okay, nope, he did indicate that he would be here, so maybe he wasn't able to make it. Yeah, so floor is open. If anyone would like to check out their site together, if you want to talk about strategies, really anything that you have questions about, if I have an idea of an answer to it, I'll give it my best shot. I'm not an SEO expert, but I know enough to be dangerous. That's the limitations that I can share here right now. Andrea, hi, I'm going to bring you out to chat. You raised your hand. How can we help?
Hi. Hey, nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, likewise.
Thank you. So I'm building a course and I'm curious if you guys have like a form builder that I can insert into the course instead of just sending everyone a free PDF or just a PDF. So
tell me more about the PDF and how you're using it.
So I would use it. Let's see here. So what they do is I have a bunch of questions, like for example, an intake, specific to what my coaching is, and they would fill it out and then they would send it back. But with a form builder, they can automatically put their words in there, and then I can review it later. So we're not trading PDFs, is what I'm looking for.
Got you. Yeah. So is this something that they would do prior to accessing any other information that you have?
Prior to.
Yeah, so
no,
like maybe they purchase and then they do the intake and then they get access to the stuff?
No, so the intake would actually be the form builder. That's just an example.
Oh,
so
okay.
I would take them on as a client, and then so I'm building my course with this type of form builder is what I'm looking for.
Got you. So what you're going to do is actually just create a page.
Okay.
So yeah, so you're going to create a page and use a form on the page. And then
Okay.
you would have that form, once they filled it out, you can then send them into your vault, for instance, where the course is. So that would be right over here under pages.
Okay.
You would create a page, and I'm just going to create a blank one for now. And we do actually have on our YouTube channel, I think very specifically the Coursify Your Coaching, or if you
Okay.
search for intake, those are going to pop up some helpful content for you. But essentially what I would do here is maybe the form is on the page. That's super easy. So I'm going to go one column, no header, and I'm just going to type in form in brackets here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go to settings, leads, and then I'm going to tell it to show it on the page. And this is where we'll say, excited to work with you. Fill
Why would
out the
lead-
form
why-
below to get started. Yes.
Why would the leads be what you would choose? This is actually part of my course, so I mean, I'd be using it for both, but
Mhm.
why choose leads?
Well, so that's just the terminology for the page. So
Okay.
essentially what you're going to, like, this page will be the form, right?
Okay.
So it's the same function you would use if you were using a page to gather leads, except in this
Right.
case, we're not going
Okay.
to tag them with lead. They're going
Gotcha.
to be client or specific course client,
Okay.
et cetera, right?
That makes sense. Okay.
Yep. So now what we're going to do is we will add a bunch of fields here where
Okay.
we can, ask questions. So question 1, obviously you're going to put the actual question in here.
Right.
Is it required? Maybe they have a longer text answer here.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe this is a multiple choice. Which one are you? Then you could say drop down list, or pick one or pick multiple. And then you go in and you can choose what the items are on the list, right? So just like you would create a form in any other instance where you're going to have multi-input options, you create that here. Once you've done that, you can tag them with, course clients, intake complete.
Okay.
Maybe, right? And then you
Or
add
whatever
them.
my form is, or whatever my form is that essentially named?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Or whatever term you would want to use to search your list for people who have reached this process, completed this process.
Gotcha.
Then you're going to add them to your vault. So now, like, basically you're going to send them to this page. They purchase. Now they go here. They complete this. Then they get into the vault where all the content is. And you've got all of their stuff filled out.
Excellent.
And there's no PDF exchange.
That's spectacular. And I can review their information then, obviously, right?
That's right. And yeah, it's going to show up on their contact card under past actions. So there's form, and then we have, we got those set up here. Yeah, that should be good to go. We're going to show it on the page. Yep, done. And then yeah, you're able to kind of play around with what that looks like. I don't know why something's happening with my Safari and it's not allowing me to preview. But here, I'll just, let me save it for you here real quick. So this would be
fantastic. Thank you so much. I was like roaming around trying to find a form builder, like, oh, great. Now I have to add another technology, to my, and I was trying to avoid that. This is like the only, software that I found that does this, that has everything. It's beautiful.
So here you go. So yeah, it would be right here on the page. And then you would, obviously the form's going to look however you want it to. You have the option to make this a pop-up as well, if you chose.
Okay.
But yeah. So after the point of purchase, this is where you would send them. And then after they fill this out, because we attached the vault to this, after they've submitted this intake form, then they can get into the course content.
Okay. And now can I create the course content with forms as well, just the way that we did it now, and just not have them?
I'm not sure I understand what you mean. I mean, the course content's probably going to have things like video, right?
Yeah. So I can tell you a little bit about how this idea came about. I'm not sure. Are you familiar with Quenza?
Mm-mm.
So Quenza is a positive psychology coaching and therapy, just like reservoir of tons of different activities. And this is the way that they do it. They have an app set up and everything. Okay. So it's, I think the engagement is higher. because they actually don't have to struggle with, you know, finding a printer, or maybe they don't print it, or like, you know, maybe the form's not fillable. Like, I want my clients to actually do the work. And that is the only way that I've actually ever found that the engagement is much higher. So
Okay.
I'm trying to build the forms into my course so that they actually engage with it. Like, it's so much easier if you're sitting at the doctor's office or whatever, you're looking at your phone. Oh, I got, you know, this form I have to do, or questions, coaching, whatever. They can sit there and actually just do it right there. They don't have to fool around with anything else. So you do it on their phone, it'd be done. I can review it, and then, you know, we can discuss it.
Okay. And you want to do that for every single lesson in your course?
No. So some of it's, I've created a lot of it on Quenza. So what I have there is, I would say probably about a good 70% of it is.
Okay. And so
Plus
the
video.
idea,
Yeah.
the idea is that you have a lesson, and then you have the thing underneath it. Okay. Okay. And they wouldn't have access to the next thing until you
Correct.
gave it to them, right?
Yep,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
could give them everything, like just the first week, you know, I could do it that way. I haven't really decided, but I think that's probably the best way, is they can't move on until they finish the last one.
Okay. Got you. So, it sounds like something, this is a one-on-one thing, right?
So I wanted to do a group of 10 people, or 10 or 20 people.
So you're giving them all the same assignment at the same time?
Yeah. Yep.
And then how do you determine like what assignment they're going to go to next?
Well, the expectation is that it will be finished. I'll be meeting with them once a week. So that expectation is
With
the
the group.
homework will be done, and then we can discuss it, and then we move on to the next
Okay.
week.
Okay. So you're going to be sharing one of these lessons a week, and everyone needs to fill out the form. And even though it's a group, you are going to be evaluating everything that's on the form.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I need to get to know
Like
my
a small
client.
group. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you know, yeah.
Will there
That's
be
okay.
will there be group will there be a group element, like group discussion?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So here's what I would do. Create a vault, put
Yep.
a discussion room in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
You're going to create a series of pages, right? So this is very different from how you would typically create a course. But
Right.
if you want to have this form attached to each one of these lessons, then you're not going to create an online class like we have in AttractWell. You're going to create a bunch of pages. And so
Okay.
your page for this lesson is, and actually I'll show you how you would do this. So let's go
Okay.
back to our form page here. You would put in, let's just put this one here. This would be the title, lesson title, right? And then we would put a video in here, right?
Yeah.
Any copy that you want to put underneath it, and then the form would show up underneath, right? So then if we're previewing it, which again, for some reason, my Safari is like, my whole computer is bonkers today. But yeah, if I save this and refresh it, then you'll be able to see that this goes here, right? So you're going to create a page like this for each one of these, right?
Yep.
And then you just want to make sure that in the settings, that you are using things like automations, right?
Yeah.
So the automation in this case, or actually the tag in this particular case, this would be lesson 1 complete.
Okay.
Right. And then the automation would maybe, or if this was, let's just pretend this is lesson 2 complete. You'll have an automation that removes the lesson 1 tag, right? And removes the lesson 1 campaign. So this is going to be a little bit more work,
Yeah.
but it's going to allow you to really dial that in. So that means that the user experience will be that they will, they'll go through the intake, they'll get into the vault. In the vault, you have, your discussion, but then once a week, you're going to send them a page, and that page is going to have the lesson content, and then it's going to have the form underneath it. And then that person is going to get tagged with, whatever your next thing is, so that that those are the people who are ready to receive that next page. And just make sure you're using automations to keep the
Yeah,
tags and campaigns clean.
totally,
But that's,
yeah.
you could build a course with pages this way.
Okay.
What you could also do potentially, I don't know that I would, you could put these inside of your vault.
That's what I
But
was
you would-
also thinking.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be behind a login. They're going to be in the same place
Yep.
where they can go into the discussion room,
Yep.
but you want to make sure that they're hidden.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe make only that one visible this week since you're running it live. So
Right.
yeah, build all the pages in the vault, build them
Okay.
exactly as I shared with you here with the automations, the campaigns, the tags, all of that stuff, but then make them all hidden, and you're just going to have to go in and hide and unhide them as appropriate during those weeks. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess that sounds easier than what I was going to do with Quenza. I mean, I love that you have everything all in one space. Makes life a lot easier. So awesome.
It would be a lot of extra work at the outset, but everything is so streamlined after. Yeah. Like it seems like if that's a program that you know you're going to be running in perpetuity, you've got everything set up to scale with that.
Right.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your help.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for coming out. I love a challenge. That's definitely one of them. How do we build a course with pages? Now we know. Hey, Brandon, got your hand raised. Let me bring you out to chat. How's it going? Good to have you back.
Hello. Hey, thanks so much. I just had a real quick question because your talk with Andrea sparked an idea I had. So I was kind of thinking about splitting my coaching into 3 different parts. One-on-one service as my premium service. Online course is my second tier. And then I was thinking about doing charging a very low price of like $5 for my newsletter, but also connecting that with the option of being in a community, an online private community.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, is there a way to separate in the vaults, the community from the online classes, since I'm charging 2 different prices for them?
Yeah. So you would have one vault that has the discussion room in it, and that's the community one. And then anything that has premium content would just need to be a separate vault.
Okay, so 2 vaults. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's awesome. It sounds you're basically replacing like a Patreon, with like when you're doing it that way. That's great.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. I thought I saw Forex Mentor. I thought I saw your hand up. You're welcome to put it back up if you have a question. Yep. There we go. Hey. All right. Do you have another question? Yeah, go for it.
Sorry to bother you again. I just want to make sure I understand, like on my landing page is the website URL, right? But how do I send people to the actual website without going to the landing page?
Got you. Yeah, let's take a look at that. So I think you actually have something set up in the account that is placing the landing page in front of the website. And where you can modify that is over here under customize my site.
Okay.
And you could see where landing page is right here. So let's just say no landing page required, and we save that. Now, when we view your site, it's just going to take us straight to that home page.
Okay. And so how do I direct people to the landing page now?
Yeah. So what you would do is let's go to that landing page and just grab the link to it real quick.
Okay.
So I'm going to copy that link, and then we'll go to the page you're using as your home page. And we will create a section. Maybe we'll put that like a header up top here. And I want to give it a background so it kind of pops out a little bit. And I'm going to use the same color as your logo. We're going to make this white and smaller. Actually, so it's mobile friendly. We're going to get it down into like the 20s. All right. So on this landing page, what are we offering on this landing page?
Actually, I didn't offer anything, and I'm going to, not after speaking to you, I'm going to offer a free phone consultation.
Got you. Okay. All right. So let's just pretend that that's what you have on this page. where
Okay.
you're sign up to get a free phone consultation, right?
Right.
All right. So looking for a Forex mentor. Schedule your free call now.
Okay.
And then we'll pop a button in there. Let's use a white one for a little contrast again. And then we'll put the URL to the landing page in here, and this will be sign me up, right? Or tell me more, or more info, whatever you want to do. You could send them, like you could go open in a new tab, but since we're sending them to a landing page, we want to kind of create a tunnel for them. So we're just going to give them that one option. So now that'll show up at the top of your page.
Okay.
See, Safari today is just being weird. So I'm going to save this, and here, let me change that. You see how padding is just kind of icky on the bottom. We'll just bump that up just a little bit. Okay, so now if we refresh and see, once we address this,
Yeah, the tool. Yeah, right.
yeah, the menu, then
menu.
this will be clickable.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, for now, and until that's addressed, we could just come over here and just scoot it down the page, right? So now it's down here at the bottom. So if
Okay.
we save that, and now you can still link to it, right? But I
Okay.
would definitely recommend, after tightening up the menu, shooting this up to the top of the page.
Shooting it to the top. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Did you just fix that for me? Did you just do that, or is that?
Oh no, I moved it to the bottom.
No, I'm saying, but you did it. I don't have to do it right now, right? It's
Correct.
there.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's right.
All right. That's even better. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You could just
Great.
make sure you edit the copy on this landing page to reflect that people are looking for a phone call. Because if they land here and
Yes,
they don't see,
right.
yeah,
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
yeah,
Exactly.
just handle that. You're good.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
sure thing. Thanks for
All right.
coming out.
And that's Greg. You're still on, right? Is
I
Greg
am,
still
yeah.
on? I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys. I hit you up with a text and you guys respond like ASAP. Unbelievable service. Really
Awesome. Thank
unbelievable
you.
service. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Great.
Appreciate the feedback. Thanks for being on. Hope you're back on again. You guys are fantastic and inspiring, and I'm so excited to see what you come up with next. We'll be back next week. Again, if you have questions, if you have topics that you'd like to explore that you haven't seen us cover yet, please let us know. And of course, AttractWell.com/work review. Sign up to be on this list to join in and see your screen and have us do work together, just like we just did. So again, back next week, same time. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for coming.